Let's head back into that game manager because we've got one more method to fill out here. We're going to move into the StartTurn method, and we're going to, once again, open up with a conditional. We're going to say if, open and close parentheses, players, and then in square brackets, player iterator, so player ITR, dot hole finish. So if the player whose turn is starting has already finished this hole, we're going to just immediately end their turn because we don't need them to take a turn if the ball is already in the hole. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll say players, if I could spell, players, player iterator, dot set position, open and close parentheses and the semicolon, players, player iterator, dot game object, dot set active, open and close parentheses false. Then we're going to say, well, I should say before we do all that, but we're setting our player's new position this should be true. So apologies if you wrote false in this game object dot set active. This should be a true value because we need to set our player's position and then we need to enable that game object so that we can actually play the game essentially. So we set game object dot set active to true. Then we say camera dot main dot transform. So the main camera in our scene, we're going to set the parent by saying dot set parent to our player's cam transform variables. We're going to say players player iterator dot cam trans. So that's going to make the camera follow that transform around as it moves. We're then going to say camera dot main dot local position. Camera dot main dot transform dot local position. There we go. Local position equals vector 3 dot 0. So that's going to center its position on that camera trans that we just made it a child of. And then we're also going to say camera dot main dot transform dot local rotation is equal to quaternion dot identity. And that's going to set the rotation equal to that camera transform as well. Quaternion dot identity is what's called the identity rotation, and that is essentially the same thing as saying the position is 0. It's like the rotation version of setting setting its value to 0. Once you've got that filled out, your game manager is complete and you are free to save your script and go ahead and move on to the next step.